Welcome back to the desert. Me and my wife are back in Joshua Tree for about another month, and then we'll be back officially in LA, and you'll be able to tell the difference because of my backgrounds, obviously. So today we are talking about an incredible topic. I'm really interlacing a lot of different ideas and topics into this video today, rather than just spirit guides. So it may not be the stereotypical meet your spirit guides type video. I mean, I don't know what else is out there or what else other people are putting out. So, so I don't know how to compare it, but it's going to be deep, it's going to be intense, and of course I have an intention for all of you today as well in watching this video. So this is my intention. My intention is to help you release resistance so that you can connect openly. And connect openly to whatever it is that you want to connect with. Connect to your guides, connect to the cosmos, connect to interdimensionals, connect to your higher parallel self. It really does all apply. So today I'm going over three main things, super in depth. The first one is spirit guide misconceptions. This happens all the time, I find, is that so many people explain spirit guides in a way that doesn't resonate with me, doesn't mean that the information that I have is the only truth, but I want to kind of go over a couple of things that maybe you've thought your whole life about spirit guides that I want to straighten up. Second thing that I want to go over is, why haven't you heard your spirit guides? I know all of you are at home trying to connect with your spirit guides, trying to communicate with them and talk to them, and yet time and time again, you just don't hear anything back. So I'm going to go over why you haven't been hearing your spirit guides, and on top of that, I'm going to be talking about how you can better connect with them at the same time. And then the last thing I want to go over is the different types of spirit guides. So there are many different types of spirit guides out there, and really we just kind of clump them all into the same bracket, and we need to separate and understand a little bit further in order to know how to connect a little bit further to each one of them. All right, sound good to everyone? Before I begin, of course, a couple things that I want to mention. First thing I want to mention is anyone else experiencing glitches on my YouTube page? I just want to put it out there, and then I can read the live chat. It's been both on my app, on my phone, as well as on the desktop, and every time I post a live video and schedule it for later, it sometimes shows up and sometimes it doesn't show up. So let me know if you're experiencing any glitches or if you're missing any videos. And sometimes you might be missing a video because it's a members only video, so keep that in mind as well. So I just want to kind of get that validated. If no one else is experiencing this, that's great. It's just on my side. That's fantastic. Second thing I want to mention is I'm going to be camping in Joshua Tree with my dad this weekend, and me hanging out with him overlaps my Q&A live video on Sunday. So I was just wondering, are you guys interested in me and my dad doing a video together, and potentially, using some of that Q&A anyway to ask my dad questions? I don't know if that's a weird thing to ask or if you guys would be interested in that or not, but definitely comment below and let me know if that's something that you would want to see. I don't know. Okay, cool. And then I am also doing my my masterclass, so that's still happening. I don't know if I'm glitching out on here because I'm on my Wi-Fi. I feel like I should probably change it. Am I glitching? Okay, I'm glitching a little bit. All right, hold on guys, 1 second. Okay, good, I'm back. All right, hopefully that's gonna be better. I totally forgot I'm back in the desert and Wi-Fi is really bad. So hopefully that's much better. Okay, Yeah, so Masterclass is back and going. Well, it's not back, it's always been going, but I haven't mentioned it in a little while. We've just kind of been, going through the students that we have. So if you are interested in shifting yourself from the 3rd dimension frequency into the 5th dimension, and you're willing to do the work, if you're not willing to do the work, definitely don't contact me. If you're willing to do the work and you're ready for a change and you just need that structure and that push and accountability, then please email me about the Shift Masterclass because, enrollment is still open. It does not guarantee that you get in. And the reason why is because I don't take people on who are already mostly in the 5th dimension, if that makes sense. And then as always, before we deep dive into it, super chats are always welcome. Thank you for the 2 of you who have already super chatted. Donations are welcome. If you do want to give back, my birthday is coming up, so I also have an Amazon birthday wish list. It's pretty cool. I'm pretty sure only Americans can use it though, which kind of sucks. Just keep that in mind. I sent the Amazon wish list to my mom, and she's in Canada, and she said that she couldn't even open it. So yeah, so you might only be able to get me a birthday present from America. That's fine. But yeah, subscribe, guys. Even if you don't want to give back or you can't give back, that's okay. Subscribe. It's free. All of this content is free. And I'm trying to work with the ads, and I don't want too many annoying ads either. So that being said, let's dive into spirit guides. Let's go into your information, and let's talk about it. First things first, spirit guide misconceptions. This video is going to be huge. My intention for this video is to help all of you unlock your vibration, your DNA, understand this information so that you can raise to the peak of your potential. So here are the misconceptions of spirit guides that I'm sure at least all of you believe in one of these things that is a misconception. And once again, I don't read books to understand these things. I just have my own experience. So take it or leave it. As always, this is not the ultimate truth. It's just one perspective to keep in mind. First misconception about spirit guides. They aren't around. Okay. A lot of you think that when you're going through a really difficult time, when all of a sudden your spiritual abilities are cut off, when you don't have full contact or full communication with your guides, most of you believe that they're just left. They've left you, right? And they're not around. That is a misconception. Your spirit guides never leave. You always have a group of spirit guides around you all the time in your life, okay? And we're going to get to the way that they work and how many typically there are and all of that great stuff. Like I'm going to lay down a lot of information today. So first misconception about spirit guides: they just aren't around. That's a misconception. It's not the truth. You always have spirit guides around, even in your darkest hour, even when you feel the most alone, okay? Keep that in mind. Second misconception about spirit guides is you always have the same ones. This is a big misconception. People believe that they have the same spirit guide for the rest of their life. Which is not true, actually. So typically, on average, people have about 10 spirit guides. And we're going to go into the different types of spirit guides that you can have, because there's 3 main different types, and it's pretty mind-blowing. So typically, on average, people have 10. Some people have more than 10. Some people have less than 10. But on average, it's about 10 at any given time. What happens is each spirit guide is in your life for a very particular reason, right? Maybe one of your spirit guides is, thank you, Megan, for that super chat, and the others who super chatted. Okay, so for some of your spirit guides, maybe they're very studious. Maybe they're only in your life for the duration of you being in university or school, right? And they help you out being very studious, very logical, analytical, because that's what you need in that moment. Spirit guides come and go. All of a sudden, their 4-year contract is up, you're moving on, and as one leaves, another one, or if not, many end up coming through into your vibration and frequency, okay? So be aware that, first of all, your spirit guides are always around, but secondly, they can come and go in your life as far as who is in your life and why they need to be in your life, if that makes sense, okay? So you don't always have the same ones, even though you always have some around you, if that makes sense. Third biggest misconception that I find about spirit guides is they make decisions for you. A lot of you out there believe that your spirit guides have the power to make decisions for you, and that is absolutely false, okay? Your spirit guides never, and I'm saying this with big bold letters, never make decisions for you. You have contracts, basically a life blueprint. At 25, I get married. At 27, I have kids. At 28, I get into a car accident. At 29, I awaken. You literally have this blueprint that your soul wrote before you incarnated into this lifetime. All your spirit guides, you could call them the keepers of your blueprint. All they are here in your life to do is to make sure that you're on track, right? So they're not making decisions for you. Your spirit guides will never tell you what is right and what is wrong. And that's why I tell my clients that all the time. They're like, is this boy the one? And I said, your spirit guides cannot ever tell you that. They can't dictate that. That is completely up to you to decide and to figure out, right? So your spirit guides will never make decisions for you. They will guide you along the way so that you stay aligned to your blueprint. So that means that if you're supposed to get into a car accident, I don't know why that example always comes up, but it's kind of a shitty thing that happens to us sometimes. If you're supposed to do that, guess what your spirit guides are going to do? They're going to lead you to that car accident, because you're supposed to have that. So another misconception is that spirit guides are here only for the good. They're here for your contracts. And you have to experience challenges in your life so that you can grow as a soul. If you were given everything, you wouldn't need spirit guides and you wouldn't need to be incarnated here in this polarizing binary reality, right? Okay, good, okay. So they can't make decisions for you. They can guide you, hence the name spirit guides, okay? Next misconception, they can stop you from doing something. Once again, kind of like the last one, they make decisions for you. They can't stop you from doing something. If you're going to do it and you're in the present moment and your free will is overriding your contracts, they can't stop you. They can, however, warn you. You know all of those pathways that you took in life that you felt like you probably shouldn't have taken, right? All of those red flags, maybe like 5 or 6 of red flags before that moment in your life that basically said, no, don't go any further. And you know how you were stubborn and you didn't listen to those red flags? Those red flags were your spirit guides, straight up. They were trying to warn you. They were trying to guide you, all right? They can't make decisions for you and they cannot stop you from doing something, although they can give you messages and red flags, okay? Okay, good. Okay, good. Last misconception that I have down here is that they know everything. A lot of you give your power away to your spirit guides. Oh, spirit guide, tell me, is this the right food for my body? Oh, spirit guides, tell me, is this the right relationship for my life? Oh, spirit guides, tell me, should I take this job? No, stop doing that. You're disempowering yourself every time you do that. Just like if you were to visit a psychic and you were to say, oh, psychic, tell me, should I wear this sock on my right foot or not? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So I don't care if it's an 11th dimensional being or a spirit guide or a higher cosmic parallel self of yours, you in this present moment as exactly who you are, a culmination of everything that you've ever been and everything that you will be in this moment, you are the most knowledgeable, the most wise ever. And so, the misconception that your spirit guides know everything is completely false. We need to realize, and I was shocked when I learned this too, that your spirit guides are also incarnated. What? They're also learning lessons. Imagine that, right? Say, for example, your spirit guide is an etheric 11th dimensional angel. Well, what do you think that they're doing? Do you think that their entire lifetime is dedicated to just you? No. You got to look at them as like a life coach, right, in your life, but from another dimension. That's their job. Their job is to support you. And I'm sure that there's probably other maybe aspects of yourself, other souls, other incarnated humans that they're also helping as well, right? And on top of that, they're still living their 11th dimensional angelic life. We need to realize that our spirit guides are literally just a soul in a body in a different dimension. And sometimes, they are also humans as well, from the past who are helping us now, which is even more limited than, say, an interdimensional being. Right? And we're going to get into the different types of guides because there are 3 main different types of guides. But once again, do not disempower yourself with them. One time, and I've said this story before, but I'll say it again. My roommate back in university, I was, really fully psychic and tapping into all of this. And so I would always tap into her spirit guide. She was a Sagittarius. And her spirit guide was a half horse, half man who was blue, and he had a bow and arrow. Turns out this is actually the Sagittarius sign, I believe, is this being. I don't know. Anyway, I forget what his name is, but the one time he was pissed off at me. He was mad at me. And I was like meditating in the living room, and he was off in the distance, and just in the astral realm, he was angry, and he had his arms crossed. And I said, yo, bro, what's the deal? You're in my space. Like, I'm trying to meditate. You're like staring at me with an evil glare. Like, what's the deal? And he gets all angry and he's like, you told Hannah to put the dishes away last night and you knew that she had a term paper to do. And I said, okay, well, they're her dishes and they've been there for 3 days now. So, you know what I mean? And he was mad at me. So I had to bring my roommate into the room and say, look, your spirit guide is not leaving me alone. And in that moment, like after that experience, I thought to myself, whoa. I thought this crazy blue half man, half horse being was super high vibe, super interdimensional, and super beyond lessons and super beyond emotions. But here he is getting all emotional at how I spoke to my roommate because it was my roommate's guide. And that's when I learned, oh, they're learning too. Oh, they're experiencing polarity to some extent too. Okay. And that's when I really stopped disempowering myself with my spirit guides, and I started realizing that, hey, you know what? If I have an angelic guide, you know what that means? They're a part of my angelic family, and what that means is that I've also lived as an angel in that lifetime. Maybe it's a past lifetime. Maybe it's a past life angelic sister of mine, which means that me in this moment is actually more knowledgeable and more advanced than that past life angelic sister of mine, even though she's in another dimension, because I've already lived through that lifetime and many other lifetimes to get myself right here, right now. So if I tap into the infinite wisdom within my soul, rather than relying on one fractal of a part of my soul from a past lifetime, even though they're in a higher dimension, it's actually worse and more limiting than just tapping into my infinite potential. Do you see how powerful we are? Anyway, that was a little bit of a rant, but those are the misconceptions. Those are the spirit guides' misconceptions. Hopefully that helps. All right, taking a breath. Okay, so the next kind of layer to this, to getting into your spirit guides, is why haven't you heard from them? I get this all the time, like almost every day, from either an email or a client or what have you. Elizabeth, I'm talking to my spirit guides all the time. Why aren't they talking back to me? Are they not listening? Are they not around? Do they not love me? Okay, so let's get into this. Why haven't you heard from them? Okay, so the first thing, and honestly the main point here of why you haven't heard from them, is that your vibration just isn't high enough. And that's not a judgment. That is just that's just a vibrational fact. So think about it this way. You're trying to reach your 8th dimensional Palladian spirit guide, and you know that you're connected to the Pallades. You know that that's kind of your soul family. You know you want to connect to that. So think about it. If you want to connect on the same radio frequency, because think about the dimensions as frequencies, if you're solidly in this dimension, in this 3rd dimension, you're missing out on all of the interactions and connections and communications with all of the other dimensions, okay? So you want to connect with an 8th dimensional Palladian being. You are over here as a 3rd dimensional human. There's a huge gap between the 3rd dimension and the 8th dimension. So what you need to do is you need to raise your vibration to meet your Palladian spirit guide halfway. They come down into the fifth dimension frequency, you rise up to the fifth dimension frequency, and that's where you meet them. Most of the time, the only reason why you can't hear them, even though they are talking to you just as much as you are talking to them, is because your frequency is not high enough. Once again, that's okay, but you need to work with this in a very particular way and take responsibility for the fact that it probably is not high enough. Okay. So this is really ironic and really funny. And when I was channeling this and writing all this information down, I was laughing because we do this all the time. And all of you are completely, and if you agree, hit the thumbs up button or send a comment or both. Okay, so your vibration is too low. This is so funny. All right. So you want to connect to your guides so badly that you have an attachment to connecting to them. And with that attachment, you're lowering your vibration in wanting to connect to your spirit guides. And then you perpetuate the understanding that you feel like you're not good enough or spiritually advanced enough to connect with them. And you think that they are better than you, so there's a disempowerment. So by virtue of wanting to connect to them, you disempower yourself based on the attachment of the need of the validation of wanting to connect to your guides. How hilarious and ironic is it that by wanting so desperately, so badly to connect to your spirit guides, you end up lowering your own vibration and thinking that you're not good enough to connect with them, therefore, anchoring in the reality that you're never going to connect with them because you're disempowering yourself and attaching yourself to an outcome that's not going to happen. It's like this weird, vicious spiral that we all get into of wanting it so badly, and then it doesn't happen, and then we lower our vibration even more when we want it, and then we disempower and we feel disappointment, and it's just like we can't get out of it. I promise you that the second you don't need to tap into your spirit guides is simultaneously the second that you absolutely will tap into your spirit guides. I'm just gonna be silent for a moment to let that sink in. It's not going to happen any other way. I'm sorry to say. Let go of the attachment. Even all of you asking me, and I know I'm still going to get this question, even all of you asking me in sessions or, in the comments, right? Why can't I hear my spirit guides? That's clearly an attachment that you need to a validation of validating your ability to tap into your spirit guides and to hear that. It's like, well, I'll only believe I'm psychic once I tap in and I hear my spirit guides. You're never going to be psychic. You continue to disempower and lower your vibration by setting that as a requirement and a validation for your spiritual gifts. Once again, it's the same example of, I'm only going to love myself once I lose that 10 pounds. It doesn't work that way. I don't care how many diets you're on. I don't care how much exercise you're doing. If you don't love yourself first, you will never be able to lose that 10 pounds. It works the same way with spirituality. If you understand that you are freaking psychic, if you know for a fact that you are talking to your spirit guides every time you connect with them and that they're listening to you, if you know that, you will hear them. If you don't trust in that, then there's still some deeper diving that you need to do for the trust within yourself. That's it. That's just how it works. So raise your vibration and be in full trust that it's great that they're there, but you don't need them. And then they come. Like, I have literally seen, this is what I see, right? In my visions when I tap into people who really want to connect with their spirit guides. Where are you? I need you so badly. I really need you. And as you literally go closer and say, I need you. Where are you? I don't feel good. I don't feel safe. They are equally moving away from you. Same thing happens in relationships. The more you feel like you need a partner, a romantic partner in your life, the further away they get because you're looking for validation. You're looking to complete something that you feel is not whole. So that's a low frequency. right? And I'm going to leave it at that. But I want to say thank you so much for your super chats. Lee, thank you. That was an incredible amount of super chat. I really appreciate that. So amazing. Okay. Also, it's time to look at any resistance that you have to life in general. If you resist your human body, if you resist having friends, if you have resistance in your family, literally, guys, any resistance you have in your field is going to lower your vibration and not allow you to fully connect to all that there is in the universe. It really is as simple as that, but also sometimes as daunting as that as well. Okay. The other thing that is preventing most people from tapping into their spirit guides and being able to listen and hear what they are saying, okay, is, hold on, past life baggage. Okay, so once again, imagine the 8th dimensional Palladian and the 3rd dimensional human. So you want to raise your vibration up. You know what I see visually as a metaphor when you want to raise your vibration to a place where both of you can be on the same frequency wave? All of the emotions, all of the trauma, all of the hurt, all of the pain, all of the baggage from the past is tied to your waist and has cinder blocks in bags that is sitting on the ground. And every time you raise your vibration, you get slammed back down. You raise your vibration, you get slammed back down. So deal with your human stuff first, deal with your resistance, deal with your trauma first, deal with the past lifetimes first, and then you can update yourself to the present moment. Then you're like, I want to be 5D, and then boom, you're 5D, right? And it happens that quickly. Okay, so once again, and I mentioned this in a couple of past live videos, you need to update yourself to the present moment. If you're not in the present moment, you're out of control with where your frequency goes and how you feel emotionally from moment to moment. So, how do you know that you are harmonized right now in the present moment? I was thinking about this right before this live video. How do you know that you're updated? How do you know that you're aligned, right? I mean, I'm sure all of you are sitting there wondering, am I updated? Do I still have baggage? Okay, so you know that you're misaligned or you still have work to do when there's resistance, when you have baggage, when you have emotions, when you have triggers, when you have reactions. Sink into those reactions, deep dive into those reactions, surrender to those reactions, and that's what's going to liberate you into the present moment, okay? If you resist the reactions, like say, for example, the reaction is eating a whole bag of cookies or whatever, right? I love using food as an example. I have been so hungry in the past week. Like, I swear I've been eating triple meals every day. Anyone else been insatiably hungry, or is it just me? I don't know. I know a lot of you are getting like these intense awakening symptoms and pains in your body, but I've been so hungry. I'm hungry right now and I just ate. Like, it's just so wild. Anyway. Okay, sorry, so off track. Okay, yes. So how do you know you're misaligned is if you have resistance, if you have heaviness in your energy, if you have trigger or reaction, you know that there's something more that you need to dig into, right? Okay, so how do you know if you're harmonized? This is so beautiful. If you know that you are harmonized if you think about something and it instantaneously happens in the next moment. That's when you know you're fully present in the moment. Now, it's okay from day to day to have 10,000 moments that are unpresent and 10,000 moments that are present, right? I mean, if you think about every moment being less than a second, less than a millisecond, that's a lot of moments per day. We can switch our moment and our frequency from moment to moment, right? So when you're really present and you're really updated and you're really in the moment, you think about it and it happens, like today. I've been thinking about my Mexico retreat recently. I'm like, oh, I really want to go back to Mexico. Like, I found this beautiful retreat center. I really want to bring either all ladies back, men and I don't know, whatever. It was such a beautiful time. And then, of course, I had my retreat planner, Anna, and if you ever want to do spiritual retreats, let me know. I'll hook you up with her. She's incredible. And so then she texts me and she's like, hey, girl, I was just thinking, when do you want to resume your spiritual retreats next year in 2021? And I'm like, oh my God, that's so crazy. I was just thinking about that. And then at the same time, I get an email from this guy who says, hey, do you have any openings for your Mexico retreats? And I'm like, oh my goodness, you're so aligned in that way. Or you think about a friend and the friend texts you. I mean, there's so many moments, so many divine synchronicities, so many wild things. The more of those divine synchronicities you have, the more in the present moment you are, and the more attuned you are to manifest every thought that you have from moment to moment. It is really wild. That's called fifth dimension frequency. Everything is harmonious. Everything is easy. It's like you're floating on a cloud and you're like, that could have cost me $10,000 and I just got it for free? Like what? It's just really mind-blowing moments. Okay, also, if you are in the present moment more often and aligned and harmonized without any baggage, if you're able to manipulate time and you're experiencing a lot of deja vus and you're experiencing a lot of dreams, vivid dreams, lucid dreaming, and just kind of glitches in the matrix in general, that you're in the present moment. Once again, if you are one of these people who are really aligned to the present moment and a lot of things have been happening very rapidly, this is the time to manifest. Manifest for the next 5 years, manifest for the next 2 years. This is the time to really figure out, what do you want? Okay. Okay, good. Awesome. All right. So the second reason why you haven't heard your spirit guides. First reason is your vibration isn't high enough, right? Second reason why you haven't heard your spirit guides is because you're not listening in the right direction. And I had to put this in a very specific way. Once again, you're not listening in the right direction. Doesn't mean that you're not listening. You're expecting your spirit guides to speak to you like another human would speak to you. So you're expecting an eighth dimensional, etheric being of light to speak to you like your third dimensional neighbor, right, as a human. It's not going to happen. A lot of you are like, okay, talk to me. What are you saying? And then it's just crickets, right? But you get like a pain in your side and you're like, ow, oh man, that hurt. Come on, right? A lot of the time, our spirit guides are talking to us in every single moment of our entire freaking reality. And yet we're just not paying attention. We're not listening in the right direction. All right. So tune into your spiritual gifts. Each and every one of you is able to receive messages from your guides in a variety of different ways, right? So I want you to ask yourself, how do I receive? Once again, how do I receive? I really want you to ask yourself that today. Okay, so write that question down in your notebook. How do I receive? And I'll give you a couple of, examples of how you could potentially receive. Physically, you can receive information physically. Like I said, all of a sudden you tap in and there's a pain in your side. Don't just sit with the message. Ask questions. Why do I have a pain in my side when I connect it to my guides? Oh, there's actually an energy buildup there that I need to release, or what have you, okay? So you can connect to them physically, you can connect to them vibrationally, you can connect to them visually, you can connect to them audibly, you can connect to them within your reality. For me, my two biggest connections with spirit guides and energies is visually. I see everything as if it was a movie. It's really cool, very entertaining, might I add. And secondly, I connect to my spirit guides with my reality, okay? Which basically means that even today, I was writing something down in my notebook and I was like scribbling and it was just, I could barely read because my own writing, because it was so scribbly. And all of a sudden, a hummingbird came up to the window and just flapped and was just looking at me. And I'm like, hi, what are you doing here? And the message that I got instantly was that I needed to slow down in my channel. And I'm sure I've probably been talking a mile a minute in this video, but my reality gives me signs all the time. You're having a really terrible day? And all of a sudden you look at the clock, you're like, everything's falling apart. I'm dying. I don't know who I am anymore. Then you look at the clock and you're like, it's 11:11, and you start crying or whatever, right? So your reality is speaking to you, and most of the time your reality is speaking to you from your spirit guides. Be aware of that. And you, right? You manifest and create your own reality as well, but be aware that that's also a way that you can receive messages, okay? Okay, so let's go over the different types of spirit guides. I think a lot of you just clump all of your spirit guides into the same bracket. There's actually 3 main different types of spirit guides. It's really cool. So, also I want to say too, because I don't do any external research, I don't know, like I make up my own names for things, and I think it's so cute. Like after the, what kind of hybrid are you? I would get these emails like, hi EA, I'm a super hybrid etheric Palladian being from the 8th dimension, and I just wanted to like say thank you, and so you're saying that I'm a super hybrid, or I'm a physical hybrid with a touch of super hybrid, and I'm a Lyran from the 8th dimension. It's so cute. Anyway, so these are just my own names, and obviously my own definitions of the 3 different types of spirit guides. Once again, from my own channelings, other people may channel other things. So I have human guides, parallel guides, and cosmic guides, of course. Before I deep dive into the human, parallel, and cosmic, I just want to say that I'm doing a follow-up video on Thursday, and I'm releasing it to all of my members, and I'm going to be going through step-by-step on how to connect to each one of these different guides, right? The human guides, the parallel guides, and then the cosmic guides. So if you want to go a little bit more in-depth with this, definitely recommend that you join and sign up to be a member, and thank you for all my members who are members and are already signed up. So just keep that in mind if you're like, I want more. That's going to be happening on Thursday. Okay, so the first type of human guide, first type of spirit guide is a human guide. Super interesting. So what I consider human guides is an individual who used to be in your life in either this lifetime or a past lifetime, who crosses over and who chooses that they had such a connection with you, they wanted to be a spirit guide for you. Okay, so when I tap in, I get this all the time. It'll be like an elder grandfather from an indigenous lifetime who's a shaman, and he's in your life now. Or it could be your great-grandfather from this lifetime, who's in your life now. Or a sister who passed away when you were younger, who's in your life now as a spirit guide. I call these spirit guides human guides. And most of you, all of you actually, have human guides. And the reason why is because they help you to be human, right? So, So your spirit guides, who's in your life and why they're in their life, mirror a reflection of what you need most in your life at this time. Okay, so a couple things that I wrote down about human guides. So once again, this life or past lifetimes. Typically, your human guides are very connected with this realm. They really help you with your issues of being human, okay? Your issues with being human. So like I said, maybe you're in school and you need someone who's very studious. And maybe you pull in, a grandfather who is a scientist and he can help you with studying or what have you, okay? Also, you can help them with a problem that they had. This is really interesting, and this gets very, overwhelming and entangled, but it's fun. So I've had it where I've had a client of mine and they're like, hey, can you tap into my father? So I tap into their father and I'm like, oh, he's crossed over. He's now a spirit guide for you. And he's basically telling me that he's made some decisions in his life that he regrets. And therefore, he's helping you kind of stay on the straight and narrow because he used to be an alcoholic and he wants to help you with addiction or what have you, right? So it's funny how human guides can step into your life. Hey, Joshua, I think you're the one who contacted me about the Mexico retreat. So thank you so much. That's so funny. And now you're a part of the live video. So, so awesome. Yeah. So anyway, so yeah, so I tend to find that human spirit guides who have crossed over to the other side, they're also needing assistance from us. So they're helping us in this realm. We're helping them in that realm. And it's really this beautiful synchronicity. Yeah, okay. So yeah, so these human guides help you with past life lessons. They help you with difficulties in past lifetimes, or they help you remember the beauty of past lifetimes as well. Remember when you were empowered in ancient Lemuria. I'm from ancient Lemuria, which is really beautiful. And like I said, a lot of help from the indigenous past lifetimes as well, which is really powerful. So human guides, we have to have them if we want to be human, because it helps us be human, right? So very interesting. Okay, so the second type of spirit guides that I want to talk about is called parallel guides. I could also call these super guides too. So yeah, I didn't think about that, but yeah, okay, let's call them super or parallel guides, whatever resonates with you. So maybe you guessed it. These are spirit guides. These are so cool. These are my favorite type of spirit guides. These are spirit guides who are literally you in another dimension. Yes, either in the past or the future. Once again, this is a spirit guide who is you in another dimension, past or future. Okay. So, so it could be like, say, for example, like recently in the past 2 years, I have been introducing so many of my clients who are like, introduce me to my spirit guides. And I'll go to introduce them to their spirit guides, and all of a sudden it's just them as a male Palladian that pops up, or them as a, an interdimensional Syrian that pops up, and I'm like, oh, this is just you, right? It was kind of weird to describe it. It's like, oh, this is what she said, or this is what you said. It's kind of weird. Anyway, so yeah, these are my favorite spirit guides because they just get you. My 12th dimensional Khan, my mantis self, he's so funny. I'm like, do I have a sense of humor like that? Like, am I really that funny? So I'm like laughing at my own jokes in another dimension. Like, that's how weird it gets, right? Anyway, so typically if you have a lot of parallel guides in your life, it means that you are self-sufficient. It means that you're kind of that person who's like, I got it, don't worry about me. I can take care of myself. Super interesting. So it also means too, though, that you're needing a little bit more of yourself, that you need to kind of re-empower yourself. So either you're super empowered or you need to re-empower yourself because you're just needing you. You're just needing that understanding, that other side of you, right? Also, parallel guides give you other perspectives. It's like, whoa, 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 Elizabeth, you're way too entrenched in this. Take a step back. This is all an illusion, and your parallel guides are really good with that. Also, your parallel guides, I just put down here, they speak your language, right? Sometimes with spirit guides, it's like, but I don't get it, or I'm not there yet, and a parallel guide will be like, yo, bro, I got you. I know where you're at. Do it this way instead. And you're like, thank you. Okay. And then, yeah, parallel guides can really help you with being human and that struggle. Parallel guides, one of the best things that they're good with is they help to activate and upgrade you. They help to activate and upgrade because that parallel self, whether it be a past lifetime where you are a giant Anunnaki being or a future lifetime where you're an incredible Arcturian being, they are just a fractal of yourself. So when you start connecting to your parallel guides, you're connecting to a fractal, a fragment of self. Therefore, you are becoming a wholer. I don't know if that's a word. A wholer individual. Okay, yeah. Okay, so then I want to take this in the next step further, which is really trippy. And I want to say that, and actually a really brilliant client of mine, Jackie, brought this up today. And she's like, hey, is this possible? And I'm like, that's a great question. And so basically, it's possible for let's call it an oversoul aspect of self, okay? Hold on, an oversoul aspect of self that's typically always in the future because they're very high vibrational. They are able to incarnate, this is what my client asked, can we incarnate as another human, say for example in Russia at the same time that we're a human in Canada or the US or whatever? Technically, the short answer to that is yes, but it's very rare that it happens because it takes a lot of energy to be a human. It takes a lot of strength. It takes a lot of consciousness to be a human, okay? So what I've had is, once again, if you've seen the Gaia interview, this is really cool. So I have had Khan, which is my 12th dimensional mantis self, enter into my reality in the present moment and incarnate as little critters and little creatures to give me messages and lessons. It's really trippy, but it's possible. So technically, my future self in the 12th dimension has incarnated as a snail before, believe it or not, to give me a message and a lesson. So my future self is incarnating in the present moment as I'm incarnated here to give me a message or a lesson. It's really trippy. It gets really trippy, guys, but that's welcome to the quantum universe. I mean, that's wild. And I just want to say thank you guys so much for the super chats. You're amazing. Thank you, Perry. You're incredible. And yeah, thank you for that super chat. That's really generous. Okay, so last but not least, cosmic guides. Let's talk about them. All of you want to connect with them. So yeah, if the more of a starseed that you are, the more cosmic spirit guides you're going to have. Obviously, cosmic spirit guides are just spirit guides who are interdimensional beings. All right. Typically your cosmic spirit guides are actually just fragments of your cosmic self. It's very rare to have like a cosmic spirit guide be a blue avian and you've never been or will never have an experience with a blue avian before. Does that make sense? Typically, your cosmic spirit guides, if they're not you in these other dimensions, they are family members or friends of yours from that dimension and from that species. So they're also fragments of self. So your cosmic spirit guides, when you connect with them, they can also activate your interdimensional aspects of self as well, if that all makes sense. So they're really good with activating your DNA. Like I said, the more starseed you are, the more cosmic spirit guides you will have. And really, in a lot of ways, your cosmic guides help you feel whole, and they help you navigate the layers and other dimensions and other vibrations in your life. The more activated and awakened you are, the more cosmic spirit guides you're going to get, because the more problem solving you need to do at an energetic, etheric, astral level, rather than a physical, linear, 3D level. Okay. So I just want to say that every single guide that you have helps you with something different. It's very rare that you have 10 guides who are all helping you self-heal and self-love. Okay. Typically, they're always here for something different. Like I said, every human being typically on average has around 10 spirit guides. When I see a human being who's very balanced, I will see 5 human guides, spirit guides, and I will see 5 cosmic spirit guides, and maybe 2 of those in the cosmic are actually parallel selves, right? Parallel guides. So a very balanced human being between this world and the next has 5 and 5 to equal 10 whole spirit guides. Sometimes I see 12 interdimensional spirit guides and 2 human spirit guides. And I'm like, whoa, dude, you got to get grounded or whatever, right? So yeah, so just being aware of that. And then, guys, if you are watching this right now and you haven't subscribed to my channel, do it. That's all I ask for all of this free content, is just a subscribe. That helps me grow and get out there. And man, I have been growing exponentially. It's been so wild. I feel so seen and so heard, more so than ever before. I just really appreciate it. If you guys are interested in the Shift Masterclass, shifting your vibration from the 3rd dimension density into the 5th dimension, especially working on all of the cutting of the cords and the baggage and the reaction and the trigger and the the struggle with your human, that's definitely a course for you. So think about it. Yeah. And then if you want to see my dad on Sunday morning and you want to maybe ask him some questions, let me know. Maybe send me an email with some questions that you want to hear from my dad, because we will be doing a father-daughter camping weekend in Joshua Tree for Father's Day. Other than that, thank you all so much for being here. I have tons of great content coming out, especially an epic video for all of my members as well. So if you're not already subscribed to the membership program, check it out on YouTube. 65 plus videos now, binge worthy for sure, and very expanding and awakening. Once again, love you all so much. Keep up the good work, keep up the high vibes, and it's okay to have down days. It's okay to question yourself, because at the end of the day, we're still living as a 3D human, and it's okay if you don't hear your spirit guides, because they're definitely always listening. Bye for now.